Blog Talk Radio.
the poetic inklings of tomorrow. Yes, I'm unmuted. You always make me check and make me second guess myself, but yes,
I'm Karen.
I am unmuted.
You've done that before.
Just once. Happened once. Poetic Inklings of Tomorrow is a show brought to you by A Poetic Slice of Life, which is a group located on allpoetry.com. Is owned by my lovely wife, Kay, who is sitting next to me.
Hello.
And I, of course, am Steven76. Allpoetry.com is the largest poetry website in the world, and we want to thank Kevin and his crew for keeping that going, giving us some place to hang out. Tonight on the Inklings, we are going to focus on, hopefully I pronounce his name correctly, Tchaikovsky. And he was the creator of The Nutcracker and The Mouse King. And we're mainly focusing on that. There's a ballet for that. There's a story written. There's been many versions of it, cartoon-wise. Kay looked it up. I guess I never even remembered that, but the movie Fantasia from Disney used all the music from the Nutcracker in that movie.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was an interesting little fact.
Yeah.
So we ran a contest, and of course, people in our group also wrote for it too, who couldn't make the contest. And let's let one of those people in right now.
Yeah. I'm sorry.
That's
Here
quite
we
all right.
go.
Hello, Wayne.
Hello, Wayne.
Well, how y'all doing tonight?
Good. How are you?
How are you?
Oh, fine.
Oh, that's good.
And we'll say hello to Jazz Coran and Dan out on the board, and I see Crystal's out there too.
Yeah, she's playing music. She's
Yeah.
helping to play the violins with them.
Okay, cool. Cool. And I just had something pop across the bottom of my phone that says, "Congratulations! Today is the anniversary of your first year at allpoetry.com."
Oh, congratulations, Big Daddy. I didn't even realize that.
See, Kevin must be listening because I thanked him for keeping the site going, and all of a sudden I get a message from him.
Oof, just like that. Thank you, Kevin.
Wayne, do you got a read and run?
Daddy, I got kids outside, but I hope they're gonna leave me alone. I lock the doors tonight. So about an hour.
Okay, cool.
Well, to be on the safe side, I will still grab one.
All right.
Because you never know. Kids are unpredictable.
Never know.
Yeah. My 22-year-old is still unpredictable. So you never kind of get out of that phase. Okay.
There it is.
Yep,
All right.
There it is.
Okay, this one is called The Nutcracker and the Mouse King. Not. Fritz and Marie were overcome with joy. Wonder who'll give what kind of toy. Marie dreamt of a garden with a lake. Fritz just wanted a toy he could break. Family gathered around Christmas tree. Beautiful castle. Dancing dolls to see. Nutcracker broken. Marie wanted to mend. Nutcracker so ugly. Marie made it a friend. Marie was there to take care of everything. Watched the battle of the seven-headed Mouse King. Dolls surrendered to the multitude of mice. Marie threw a shoe at the king. Didn't think twice. Early in the morning, when nighttime had passed, no one believed Marie after seeing the broken glass. Trying to fix the Nutcracker, the godfather sat. King and queen gave birth to Princess Pillfat. Princess became so ugly, nobody wanted to look. Beauty could only be restored by the walnut cracker crook. Looking for the cure with the nut and the nephew, many princes had teeth so badly they could hardly chew. Then another nephew bit and broke the nut in two. Ugliness faded, and the Princess Beauty came through. As the princess became lovely and sweet, mouse rings fell under the princess's feet, and the nephew's feet. Back at the castle, Mouse King was breaking the cord. Nutcracker came to life. Prince got him a sword. Being so brave, Nutcracker fought into Mouse King, and back to the princess, 7 crowns he did bring. Marie and the Nutcracker, to his home they fled. All of a sudden, Marie woke up in her bed. No one believed her story. It was such a hassle. she left his nephew to live in Mod Pond Castle. And
Very well read, Wayne. This is really cool. I like your take on the Nutcracker story. I have to ask, did you did some research, or are you just really familiar with the story?
I'm not really familiar with it. I heard it a couple times before, but I didn't. I've read it a couple times before, but I didn't. I had to read. I had to research it.
Okay, yeah, you can tell by some of the things that you wrote in here. Yeah, yeah, because I mean, I used to go to the ballet every year when I was younger. Haven't been there in a long time. Someday I want to take Kay there. She's never seen it, but this is a great telling of the story, Wayne. You did a really good job. I really enjoyed that. What did you think, hon?
No, yeah, I
fun,
thought
right?
this was. Oh yeah, I thought this was a great write because I've seen the Nutcracker in movie version and actually cartoon version, and both were pretty great actually. I like the cartoon version the best though, the one where Kiefer Sutherland voiced it.
Yeah.
I remember watching it a lot with James. But the Nutcracker in itself, it's a timeless story. The music, it's very beautiful too. You captured so much about the movie, and you know the movie in itself. I know it's a softer version compared to what it originally was, but you know it's a take on childhood and innocence, and because the original version was actually a lot darker before they kind of softened it.
Yeah.
So I thought this was an excellent write.
I appreciate that.
Yeah, the Mouse King was no one to be trifled with.
Yeah.
It's kind of complicated. It's a complicated story.
Yeah, it is.
It was because from my research. I'm sorry.
I said I got. Okay.
What were you going to say?
I said I got lost 2 or 3 times reading it. And I get about halfway through, and I thought, where the hell am I at? Because it just kind of went off to Never Land to me. And then I'd go back and redo it and read it again. I finally caught up to the story a little bit. It's pretty complicated.
Oh. Yeah. Yeah. You know. Yeah. I would have probably loved to have seen the original version of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, because the original version started in the theater in St. Petersburg, Russia, back in 1892. But he said it was a very darker version, where by 1954 it came to America and they softened it because it was too dark, too sadistic, some undertones that would not be seen as kosher.
I'd be curious to know what those undertones were.
I'm not sure if I could say certain words.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You'll have to tell me after.
Yeah, because it's PG-13, so I'm not sure what words are safe for PG-13. But yeah, it definitely was more darker with the some of the elements, like what was the one about the rat's mother ordering her children to be murdered. I think that's safe to say here.
Yeah.
But then the other one I don't think is appropriate. But yeah, there was a lot of dark undertones there. And the fact that, you know, in the original story, the girl, she falls in love with the Nutcracker Prince, but she defies her family and decides to marry him when she, you know, grows up, and she becomes part of Toyland instead. Yeah. She abandons her living life, live in Toyland instead. So maybe last night's story was. Yeah.
Well, Steve, when you went to the ballet, how did the walnut look?
Honestly, Wayne, I can't remember because it's been so long. It's been more than 20 years since I've seen it.
Yeah. It was hard to picture that walnut walk around.
Yeah.
It is. It probably would be pretty cool to see.
Someday I'll take you.
Someday, yeah.
Oh, that'd be nice to see.
It would.
So you've been on AP for a year now today, Stephen?
Yep.
1 year.
I'll picture you've been here 5-6 years.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm still a newbie.
You're smooth.
You passed me. You passed me anyway.
Yeah. I came here back in October 1 year ago, so I'm 14 months in.
14 months.
So yeah.
I feel like old man. I am an old man. What am I saying?
So am I.
We're all getting in. Yeah. But yeah, that's cool. I didn't even realize it's been a year. Been so busy that I didn't even realize.
Well, I knew I started in December. I just wasn't sure the exact day.
Yeah.
The time flies by.
It sure does.
It does.
I got 2.5 years.
It really does.
I got 2.5 years in now.
Does it seem that long?
Not sure. Just yesterday I joined. They had so much fun. Had some fun here. I love this site.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
Where do you want to go, hon?
Well, if you want, you can read yours.
Sure.
Sure. Okay.
I didn't write to the Nutcracker per se as I did write to the picture, is what I ended up writing to.
Yeah.
Kind of a little Christmas story, almost like a children's book.
Well, yeah, because we were trying to go with quotes, but we were having a hard time finding the perfect ones, so we went with picture prompts instead.
Yeah. So I chose that picture there that everybody can see, and I called this the Wooden Guardian of Santa's Treasures. Starting off as wood and paint, he stands stoic and protective, awaiting Christmas Eve to come, for that is when he lives. 1 minute before midnight comes, his body does transform, skin and eyes and heart that pumps, paint now soldier uniform. He makes ready for arrival of Santa Claus and salutes him when he comes, assists with placements of gifts and such. His favorite are the drums. And when Santa leaves, he shakes his hand, returning to mantle and his place, guarding the treasures till morning comes, for child's warm, happy face. End poem.
Well, what do you think, Wayne?
I thought it was a cute little poem. I liked it a lot. You kind of put the Christmas spirit into it, the way he comes to life and everything. And I like the rhyme. I like the good flow in it. It's a good poem. I like the poem a lot. You did a good job on that, Steve.
Thank you, Wayne.
Yeah. I remember you telling me when you saw this picture, because it's a picture, because the listeners, they may not be able to see the right, but it's a picture of a nutcracker standing in the snow. Yeah. It looks like it's at nighttime. But you said this one stood out to you where you had to write to it. Yeah. I like how you start off by giving him, his own personification, starting off as wood and paint, how he stands stoic and protective, because that is the job of a nutcracker. To protect and stand stoic, not have emotions, but be brave and gallant. But yeah, waiting Christmas Eve to come, for that is when he lives. That's true. It's kind of like the joke that we make around our house. On Christmas Eve, our pets, they have the gift of being able to speak, because Christmas is magic.
Only to Santa Claus.
Only to Santa Claus. I'm not sure Santa Claus is responsible for that, though. There's certain other magic coming into play for the Nutcracker to come to life. But yeah, I thought this was an excellent write all around. And you tie in Santa Claus in your write too.
Of course.
I've seen that boy or whatever it is. I've seen him in other movies walking around, marching around and protecting everything. He's been in more than one show, I believe.
Yes. Yeah, he has. I don't know why we don't have ours out.
It's still in storage.
Yeah. We gotta pull him out. It's Christmas time.
Well, we've been busy, and I got a broken arm, so I kind of have
you got
kind of tricky getting Christmas set up the way I want it to this year.
Yeah, you have to show me where he is. I'll get him out.
I know. I'm slacking.
So am I. Haven't even put the outside lights up yet.
Slacker. What's your excuse?
I don't know. Just taking it slow this year.
I know. Well, that's okay. You know, there's no kids around. It's I don't know.
I'll give you a few.
It's fun. It's fun with kids. There you go. Crack open a few beers. Get those lights strong.
That's it right there.
I'll just take the one. Yeah. I still only have the one beer in the fridge.
Yeah, I know. You're nursing it.
I don't want to touch it until I have another. That way I'm not drinking the last.
Yeah.
Yeah, as long as I don't run out, I'm all right. Once I run out, I go crazy.
Well, it's Christmas, though. We like to do our little Advent exchange, so you never know.
Yeah, I know.
One of your Advent gifts would be beer.
I'd be fine with that.
I know. Okay.
So,
Oh. Okay. So I guess I will get to one of our contests right.
All right.
And, okay, I just wanted to check the studio real quick. Okay. And I'll read this one. Okay.
All right.
Since Jeff ran splitting on the board.
Jessica Rand.
Yeah.
Still out there?
I'll meet you. Yeah. Okay, this is from our contest, and this was our silver winner. And this is by Jess Graham, and it is called Rat Proudly Wears a Wisdom Hat. There's a fluffy wild cat. He wants to eat a beautiful female rat. His behavior towards female rats is gross and cad. He is starving with hunger and going after her like mad. He is breathless and asking the rat to stop, or it will be very bad. A noble man is seeing the run, chase and fastens his leash with Brad. The rat heaves a sigh of relief, and someone came to her rescue. She is glad. The cat is sad and wished a better plan he had. He is locked up in a box now and requesting for a bailout by calling his dad. The rat proudly wears a wisdom hat and says nobody messes with the Don, and this is tit for tat. The rats uplift the hero of the clan on Thanksgiving Day, saying this is a special occasion and a memorable one. They raise a toast and stuff their stomachs with turkey. Everyone zonked, no one knowing where they fell on the floor. It was a night full of fun. End poem.
Yeah, I really, I like Jask's very original take on the picture that he wrote too. I was smiling the whole time I read this the first time, and I was smiling the time you read just now when you read it. I see a little more meaning to it, possibly though.
Yeah.
After listening to you read it, you know, maybe could be writing about a womanizer of sorts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I was seeing.
Yep. And she's rescued by, you know, a nice guy.
Who's nice guy?
Yeah. But the ending stanza was cracked me up pretty good. Raising a toast, till stuffed their stomachs with turkey. Everyone zonked, no one knowing where they fell on the floors. Drinking a little too much. Overindulgence. But a great poem and very, very humorous. What did you think, on?
Overindulgence sometimes is okay, just as long as you don't go overboard.
Right.
Yeah. But yeah, I did see what you were talking about, because it is very humorous. But it was also grabbing, from what I was seeing, the deeper meaning, of, going on a wild ride, a guy who is persistent in trying to prey on the ladies. I like the part about having to be bailed out by Dad. Because if he had to be bailed out by Dad, it means he took it too far.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, all around, this was a pretty cool write. Definitely very humorous. And, the fact that he brought cats and rats into play, I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Well-deserved silver.
Yes. Yes, indeed. What did you think, Wayne?
I thought it was a good poem. The last couple of lines we talked about the turkey. Turkey to me is a downer. Every time anybody eats turkey, they got to take a nap afterwards. So it's kind of a sedative to me. And the poem is good. It's got good in rhyme in it. It can get good rhythm. And I like where he said he is breathless and asking the rat to stop, or it'll be very bad. And it's good all the way through. It's good rhyme, good flow, and a good read. I like it a whole lot. And congratulations on the
Excellent
gold.
comment.
Yeah. Sound like a pretty cool Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Rats and cats and heroes and turkey and beer.
And beer.
Beer.
As Homer Simpson once said, beer.
Yeah, but he said that about a lot of other things too. I'm mostly about beer. Yeah. Yeah. It was a cool ride.
No,
Okay, so you want me to get this one?
Are we on the gold?
Sure. This one kind of gives a little bit of a backstory.
Yeah, this one's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Right, we read our silver. Let's read our gold. And you want me to read this one?
Sure.
All right. And this one is by S. Blake Horton. And it's called Tuesday with Tchaikovsky in the series Week with the Masters. Russia's civil servant, given honorary Cambridge doctorate, emerged as grandest composer, royal emotional charger, designer of lovely melancholies, and writhing seas interpreter. Tchaikovsky, gifting brilliance's promise to ballets in three, famously the Nutcracker Suite, is his most beloved legacy, packing halls, filling coffers of ballet companies seasonally. Curtains rise on a magical Christmas Eve party. Silver houses greet guests. Toymaker Drosselmeyer presents Clara with the party's hit. Nutcracker soldiers so endeared, envy bitters bite Brother Fritz. Dreamy theaters, galaxy thrills, dances of poetic pixie piccolos, oboes beauty and notes flow through venues bright resonance. Breathlessly bassoonists blow velvetly, melody soothes rileless. Winds, French horns, flutes, clarinets, all audible sensational. Iconic string sections, first and second violinists, cellists, bassists, pick, draw, pluck, blow, drum, conductor, batons, musical souls. Celesta dreamy musicality, lavishly chiming of delicate keys, heavenly harpists in rapture than flowering flights, stirring hues, gracing imagination's canvases of childhood dreams imbued. Ms. Damas Les Muses rendezvous with Tchaikovsky night AM, master of inspiration, victor of disclination, enchanter, gemologist of instruments and notes. Peter Ilyich Tchaikovsky, bountiful genius lives on, as each Christmas season millions flock ballet halls to see the Nutcracker. First thought a Russian flop. End poem.
wow.
Yeah, I thought this was pretty cool. It was it's an awesome tribute and a history lesson wrapped all up into one poem. And like I said, I've seen the ballet many times, and it was always a packed house. So it's hard to believe that it flopped when it first came out. But hey, some people just don't know what they got. But yeah, this is a great poem, and congrats on the gold. What do you think, hon?
Well, yeah, because with the research that I did, when it opened in 1892, it did receive neutral reviews, where some liked it, but others they had many faults with it. And it started in Russia and Tchaikovsky. I've listened to a lot of his works lately in the last few weeks. My most favorite, besides Waltz with Flowers, is the Chapel Hymn. I've been listening to that a lot lately. Because the thing is, classical music, it invokes so much within one. If you stop and just listen, it's very beautiful. And if you just stop and you just close your eyes and take it all in, it could take you to a lot of different places within. And I've been listening to a lot of the music from the Nutcracker this week as well, just because it's so beautiful, and I just want to keep listening to it. But I like how he incorporated a lot of Tchaikovsky and Nutcracker and the background origins. Because the thing is, when this opened in 1892, a few years later, they had to stop the play because the revolution had broke out and the theater performers stopped doing ballet altogether. So, of course, they lost their jobs. And it wasn't picked up again until the early 1900s. And then it went through its own transitions before it finally made its way to the U.S. in 1954. And it's had many visions as well. And like I said, it's a very softer version because the original was very dark. But like I said, I would really love to see it brought to life somehow all the elements because through the dark elements, it might have its own kind of ending that would be kind of cool. Because there's been so many visions or versions that I've seen through the years where, and the cartoon, the Nutcracker Prince, Clara does end up falling in love with the Nutcracker, and he does in the end. I think Uncle Drosselmeyer makes it possible where he does come to life, because all of a sudden he's working in the toy shop with Uncle Drosselmeyer, and she just stops where she's at and looks at him and is astounded. And the way they paint the picture there, it's instant love. So it's kind of playing a little bit on the original story about how she fell in love, with the Nutcracker. But in the cartoon, he became human. But in the story, she decided to be part of the toy world instead. So I thought this was an excellent write all around because, this just incorporates so much in such a powerful way. And I'm so glad that he shared it with us for the contest and for tonight's show because this definitely, it's a powerhouse. Amazing.
I will say this, no other guy would ever mess with her. Her boyfriend's name is Nutcracker.
Nutcracker.
What did you think of the poem, Wayne?
I thought it was an excellent poem. It had very complex lines. It read real smooth. I'm glad I didn't have to read it because it was still a good tongue twister too. It's a good storyline, wonderful vocabulary. Each line that we read gets better and better. It's well balanced. Every line is balanced and complex. It's amazing. I think it's amazing the way he put it together. And congratulations on the gold. And I think it's an excellent poem. Really good poem. Really right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Although I have to say, despite what you said, I think some men would test the Nutcracker theory and still plow through.
Would they be singing soprano?
Yep.
Every man is stubbornness.
I got people downstairs. I'll be back in a minute.
Okay, doke.
Like I said, every man's different.
Yeah, I know.
There definitely are some that say, to hell with it. You'd all talk.
Yeah.
But then to begin with, you're painting the image. Nutcracker.
Yeah.
Does that mean they'd be down biting? Come on, man.
That's horrible, isn't it?
That is an awful image that is now in my head. Terrible. It's like a dog grabbing a bone.
Yeah.
Jeez Louise. You're terrible.
Yeah. It made me think of Steve Martin now from Trains and Planes.
Yeah. Wasn't bitten, he was grabbed.
He was grabbed, yes.
Yeah.
But maybe the taxi driver's name was Nutcracker.
Ugh. I don't know.
Hey, where do you want to go?
Yeah. Well, no, while I am waiting, I want to give a little bit back history. This is the perfect time because of S. Blake Horton's right. This research that I had found, there's a lot of stuff that I found pertaining to it, and I thought this was pretty cool. Because, as I said, the Russian Revolution had happened a few years later, so the ballet in Russia had to cease at that time. But let me see here where I was looking at earlier. Because it was picked up, okay, from my research here, it says, some years after the failure of the opening performance, at the onset of the 1905 Russian Revolution, dancers in the Mariinsky Theater, they largely fled Russia. And the original Nutcracker Prince, Sergei Legat, he fell out with authorities and he committed suicide. And the end result was the ballet and its dancers were forgotten. And the dancers, they were forced to scatter across Europe. But the Nutcracker, it came back to life like I said, in 1927, it showed up in Budapest. And by 1934, it made its way to London. And then, 10 years later, it showed up to San Francisco Ballet, and they staged their own version with their own original choreography. And Fantasia, as you said, Walt Disney, they used Tchaikovsky's entire score, and that movie came out in 1940. And that helped to definitely put the Nutcracker on the map because it became recognizable to American audiences, it said. But from here it says it wasn't until 1954 that the Nutcracker really captured American audiences with its new company, the New York City Ballet. And from there, the rest is history, because I know through the years there have been so many takes on stage and theater. It's just amazing. And as I said, even cartoon takes. I've seen so many cartoon versions through the years that just are amazing. And it's silly because the one that I like the best is a cartoon from 1990, but it does play on certain aspects of what they were talking about with the original story. Because depending on which version you see, there's so many different takes on it. So, yeah, the Nutcracker, it carries a lot of great history to it. And the fact that it started in Russia, I like that, because I'm partial to Russian nationality to begin with, since I have Russian blood in me.
Yes.
So that has a special place in my heart to me. Yeah, I just wanted to share that because I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
And I will shut up and stop prattling and ask you where you want to go.
Well, we probably ought to read another poem, but I will say that my favorite version of the Nutcracker is the very, very dark one.
Which one?
I think it's called The Puppet Master.
That's not. There you go against the Nutcracker. Puppet Master is not part of the Nutcracker.
Oh, one of the puppets look like him.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Seriously, did you see the Nutcracker? Did you have a favorite version?
Ballet.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
It's really cool.
It is?
Yeah.
When did you see that?
It's been about 20 years since I last saw it.
That's not true, because I've been here for 23 years.
It's been more than 20 years.
Yeah.
I was in my early 20s the last time I saw it.
Okay.
So it's been almost 30 years.
Yeah.
So I'm older than I thought I was.
Come July, you'll be 50.
Yeah.
Did you see it at the Playhouse Square in Cleveland?
Yes, the Cleveland Ballet.
Oh.
Someday I'd like to take you to see it.
I know. You said that a lot through the years. Maybe someday.
Mm.
I've been to Cleveland Playhouse Square once, and it is very magical. It was awesome. I was busy taking in the scenery around me because the place is big, and I mean big. There's just so much all around you, from even the ceiling, to take in and just be astounded by. And the one play that I saw there, it was amazing. So I have to imagine that everything they perform there is amazing, and it's of top quality.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Because I've seen the Nutcracker there 4 or 5 times.
Yeah.
And I went and saw that play with you.
Yeah.
And I actually saw David Copperfield there.
Really?
Yeah.
He performed at the Cleveland Playhouse Square?
Mhm.
Wow.
Yeah, and that was pretty cool too.
I thought only plays happened in this playhouse.
That's where Copperfield was.
Oh, wow. That's interesting. I remember you telling me in your youth you saw him, but I didn't realize it was there.
Yep.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Mm. Yeah. How about that? But yeah, for anybody who has not seen it, you should go see it. I'm limited to just what I've seen on TV. Because actually last night on Netflix we watched another version of the Nutcracker.
The Four Realms.
Yeah.
The Disney movie.
Nutcracker and the Four Realms.
It was pretty cool. It actually is Clara's daughter.
Yeah.
That's featured in that one. It's pretty good though.
Yeah, because the twist in that one is Clara's mother was the queen.
Yeah, because she went to live in Toyland.
Yeah, but then she
came back.
Well, no, yeah.
Obviously,
Clara's mother, she abandoned that place to get married and have her family.
Mm.
So when Clara opened Uncle Dressenmeyer's,
No, Clara is the mother.
Clara's the mother. Okay, sorry, the daughter. Okay, that's right. Okay, so how they did it was Clara passed away, and that Christmas Eve, their father had gifts for all the children, and Clara's daughter was given an egg that belonged to Clara, but it had to be unlocked, and it had a special key. But the rat,
Mouse rings.
yes, he swiped it, and he led her into the realm that led to, where did it lead to? I forget what it's called.
The realm of amusement it was.
Yeah, okay. And that's where she met the Nutcracker.
Yep.
And together, they entered other realms. Because the fourth realm was considered bad.
That was the realm of amusement, the fourth realm.
The fourth realm. Was that with Mother Ginger?
Yeah. There was the realm of flowers.
Yeah.
I don't remember the other realms.
That's terrible.
It is, because we just watched it last night. Oh, my gosh.
Because I know the one realm
Because I'm almost 50.
You hanker. No, I know. It's just, supposedly the fourth realm was bad because Mother Ginger was portrayed as being dark and foreboding, and you shouldn't cross her. But she proved to be, in the end, to be on their side. Yeah. They just didn't realize it till the end. Yep. Because one of the supposedly nice toys that was in the first realm she came into.
Sugar Plum Fairy.
Yeah, Sugar Plum Fairy. She actually was the manipulative little wench.
Spoiler alert.
Spoiler alert. Sorry. Well, yeah, she ended up taking everybody hostage and wanted to turn everybody into toys and take over the land herself because she was angry because Clara had abandoned them and left them to fend for themselves. So, yeah, she was the only one who couldn't get over it and carried her own grudge and decided to take it out on everybody because, as she said, I don't want anybody to hurt me again, so this is me protecting myself. Why are you looking at me like that?
Just makes me think of somebody.
Yeah, family-wise.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, the story, it's a great moral lesson too about, letting go of anger. Don't hold on to stuff. Or else you become like Sugar Plum Fairy and you hold a grudge and you try to take it out on everybody and kill them and turn them into toys. Because in their mind, they had it coming. That was a mentality she had.
Yeah.
But the end, it kind of almost made me want to tear up a little because, of course, she left the realm to come back into, the world that she's living in. And, it's Christmas Eve. And her father, they had a fight beforehand. So when she came back, her and her father made up. And they had a father-daughter dance. And what made it sweet is they ended up dancing to the music because the egg, when it opened up, it played the music, the Waltz of the Flowers. And he said, this is the song that I danced to at our wedding with your mother. That made me tear up a little bit because that's how they closed it. It was a beautiful closing. I thought.
And I like the actor that played the father.
Who's the actor?
Don't remember his name, but he was in Ripper Street.
Oh, that's why you made that sound when you saw him. Because I was looking and I was like, this is not recognizable to me.
He was also in that one mini-series that was on Showtime or Stars. Can't remember. About the church.
Church, I don't know.
The Pillars of the Earth.
Yeah, I wouldn't have known that because I don't watch that.
Yeah, I did. It was a good show.
I know, but that's not my thing so much, so I know. But yeah, Ripper Street was pretty decent because I remember watching snippets of it with you, but certain aspects. When we touch on certain aspects, then I lose interest. I shut down. I shut off. So yeah, once you start going there, that's it.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Shall we drop another poem?
Yeah, I just wanted to prattle on about that because I thought that was pretty interesting. It was one I didn't even know about, the Nutcracker in the Four Realms. So it was kind of neat to come across that last night. There's a cartoon version I've seen too many times through the years.
I haven't seen the cartoon version in a long time.
Well, the funny thing is when James was a child, he loved it a lot. So that year, I saw it countless times, and then it just wore on me.
Yeah.
Where it wore on me so much that even if I was just seeing it in snippets, I would tear up there as well with watching it, because that's our closing song that we're using. When they played that song, when she was dancing with the Nutcracker, when he came to life, it's just in its own way was so beautiful that me being me, I do have those moments of being sappy.
Yeah.
And when I get to that point, it brings me to tears. I just don't like to show it because I thought that it was a beautiful moment in the music. So yeah, I will shut up.
Who's reading a little brevity?
I don't know. If you want, I can read it.
Okay.
Okay. This was also an HM from our contest, and this is by Marvin Goldfarb, and I got to get over there.
Run, run, Rudolph. Santa's got to make it to town.
Trying. Okay, this is called Mouse Cowboy. The ploy of the mouse cowboy is to annoy those who don't ignore. He's only a bore, and he did this before. And
how about that? Short and sweet. Cool brevity. I really like the ABBB rhyme scheme. And you know what it made me think of is there's just some people out there that just seem to enjoy being an annoyance.
Yeah.
They like getting on people's nerves.
Yeah, I know. Why are you looking at me like that?
I'm just.
You got this really weird grin on your face.
That's because I'm half asleep.
No, you're not.
Well, what'd you think of the brevity?
I agree with you, because to me it sounds like the mouse cowboy is trying to liven things up by trying to be noticed in any way he can. And sometimes even being a pest, an annoyance, a bother, is somebody trying to get somebody's attention. They're just going about it the wrong way because they probably don't know any other way to go about it.
Squeaky wheel gets the oil.
Sometimes. It's like I said, that sometimes some people think that loud achieves things. Sometimes loud is just loud and it doesn't mean anything. And that could be the same for, behavior too.
Yeah.
It is what it is, but
Tis what it is.
Doesn't mean much.
Yep. I wonder if Wayne's back.
Oh, I don't know. Might not be there.
I don't think he's back. He'd have said something by now.
I don't think so. Like I said, kids are unpredictable.
Yes, they are.
Yeah.
I remember.
I know.
Sometimes I miss it.
Sometimes. There are certain aspects I miss too. And then there's other aspects that I don't.
Yes. But the quiet time we have at home now, so nice.
I do like that. I do like the quiet. And I'm not old, but I appreciate the fact that I had my son when I was 20. Because at 42, I can just relax if I want to. But the thing is, I fill my time in other ways where I still stay busy.
Yeah.
But it's at my own pace. So.
Yeah. My favorite part about being an empty nester is if there's something in the fridge I want to eat, I know it's still going to be there when I get home from work.
That's true.
I mean, I have other favorite parts too, but I'm not going to mention that on a PG-13 show.
I know. Big Daddy. But there's other good aspects too. My son, I always used to joke. I felt like a live-in maid some days.
Yeah.
So it's nice to not have to walk around my house with a garbage bag in hand and picking up everything that was left behind.
Yeah.
Because some days I literally had to do that. I'd go in his room and just bring a garbage bag in my hand and just grab everything. But the thing is, now he's on his own, I still do that when I go to his house. I grab a bag immediately and I start cleaning up right away.
Yeah, I know you do.
I know. But at least it's in his house and it's not ours anymore.
Yeah.
Because that's also another good thing, too. The house stays more tidier, which means I don't have to worry about the things I used to before, which means I have more time for other things. Well, I appreciate that. And it's been nice kind of being a slacker in certain ways.
Yes. Yes, indeed. Put the feet up on the ottoman, put the comforter over you, watch TV.
Yeah.
Maybe with a little popcorn.
Yeah.
I'll tell you a little story. It's not about the Nutcracker.
Okay.
It's about James.
Oh.
When we used to live in another place before we moved here, and he was a lot younger then,
Yeah.
and he did not want to tell us for some reason that he did not like beef pot pies.
Oh, yeah, that story.
And then one day we said he wanted to go play his computer games in his room while he ate his dinner of beef pot pie, and we said sure, why not? Every now and then it's not that bad, so he did.
Yeah.
But later on, when Kay was cleaning, she found that beef pot pie still sitting there, but it was covered with ants because he didn't eat it. He just hid it in his room.
Yeah, he did. But see, what you're leaving out is when I pulled the dresser out, there's a lot of other things. Instead of bringing his food out, throwing it out, there's things like mac and cheese back there, old sandwiches. There was a lot. It's like behind the dresser was his garbage disposal. But that would explain why that year we kind of had a mouse problem in the house.
Yeah, that's true, yeah.
Because it originated in his room. So he didn't realize that he was attracting mice.
He was attracting everything.
Yeah. Maybe he attracted mouse rings.
Mouse rings, yes. Well, if it was mouse rings, he's dead because we set up that live trap and then forgot to check it, so the poor little thing starved to death.
Yeah, I know. But the thing is, we had our own big scary cat, too, because some of the cats, I remember, they were pretty big and intimidating back then. They would stare at the corner, just watching, like a vigilant guard the whole time. Where after a while, I think the mouse was afraid to come out because it could sense that there was something big and hairy and
teeth,
very dangerous waiting on the other side.
Sitting there saying, "Come on out, you little shit."
Yeah. Because back then, the cats we had, they would have shown no mercy.
See that? So we're right back on topic. All of a sudden, we're talking about mice. How about that?
Cats and rats.
Full circle.
Full circle. Except our cats weren't, or the mice, they weren't wheeled in little knives to shiv anybody.
Yeah.
Or else our cats would have been scared crapless. She's like, the hell with that? I ain't standing guard at his door anymore.
That damn mouse has 8 heads and a sword. I am out of here.
I know.
Who's next?
Oh my gosh. Well, do you want to do another contest, right?
Sure.
Okay. I guess this one. I'm so rude. No, well, how about we do this one? I'll read this one.
Okie dokie.
I thought this one was a great one, too. Okay. And this is also from the contest. This was our HM winner.
Crystal Lavoie.
Yeah. Thank you. And it is called Nutcracker Saves the Day. A young child got a nutcracker soldier as a Christmas present. A wise man told the child that the nutcracker, he's a protector, he'll keep her safe. The child did not realize that the wise man put a spell on the nutcracker, so he will come to alive at night. The nutcracker and child could play. The nutcracker saw a child, and the toy danced. The big rat did not like the nutcracker. He was a mighty king and very moody. The rat grabbed the child and brought her to his castle. The rat guard stood guard to keep the nutcracker out. The nutcracker broke in the castle and saved the child, and teaching the rat that they all can be friends and dance together. The nutcracker brought the child back home, safe in her bed. The child woke up the next morning. What a great dream. And so.
Yeah, and I really liked her take on the story and the fact that she turned it into like a little children's book of her own, kind of putting a little twist on the end. Nice happy ending. Everybody gets along. I don't know why you didn't say Harry though.
I don't, because in my mind, if I was saying that, it seems my mind's going elsewhere. I'm going to Fast Times at Ridgemont High.
Oh my God.
So I can't.
That was a different kind of Harry. This one's the name Harry.
I know, but see, the problem
Big
is
hairy rat.
certain words make your brain go elsewhere with word association. I can't help it. You do the same thing.
So you
I
start,
try to talk
you
to you
say,
some days, and you pull certain things with me too.
yeah, I know. You saying you'd start laughing and giggling by saying big hairy rat?
I might. I couldn't say it. Anybody who's reading it will know that it's there. I just couldn't.
Oh my gosh. Fast Times at Ridgemont High. We'll have to do that movie sometime on a show.
Yeah.
Oh, but we need Hatter so he could do a Spicoli imitation.
Oh my God.
But yeah, I thought this was an excellent write. And congrats on the honorable mention. What did you think, hon?
I did think this was great because I thought it had a moral story to it as well. And the moral being about how everybody can be friends. Because maybe how I felt it was portrayed that maybe the rat was jealous of what the child and the nutcracker had and couldn't understand the relationship, but also wanted to be friends as well. But the thing is, sometimes it takes lessons to realize that it's possible everybody can be friends, but sometimes in life it's not possible to be friends. It all depends because certain people are not meant to be friends. And even for certain animals, they're just not meant to get along. Because, a good example is we still have our cat Benny. He's 8 years old. And our older cat who passed away 3 years ago, I called him Bebe.
Uncle Bebe.
Uncle Bebe. Yeah. For some reason, every time he saw Benny, it's like he had a vendetta against him. Yeah. Where every time Bebe saw Benny, he's like, oh, hell no. Or he would lunge at Benny, where Benny was very frightened a lot of the times. And I remember the one time having to break up a fight between Benny and Bebe, where Benny, just to get Bebe off of him, he started peeing on him. And by the time I broke up that fight, there was blood, urine, and fur on the floor. For some reason, I don't know why Uncle Bebe always had it in for Benny, but it's almost as if when Bebe passed away, Benny was like, praise the Lord, I can live again. Yeah. Because Benny now, he's more happier, he's more relaxed, he's not looking over his shoulder because he doesn't have that fear of somebody constantly wanting to wail on him and just treat him like garbage. So, yeah, and see, that's something I've always wondered too, as I said, you guys are cats. I don't understand how a cat can hate another cat. But, in life, that's the same thing too. Some people just aren't meant to be friends. And sometimes for family too. Sometimes it's not meant to be as far as keeping them in your life.
Yeah.
So if you have it in you to be the better person, to try to be friends and get along with everybody, that's great. But sometimes it just is not possible. But, with the write itself, the story, they definitely, in the story, they kind of made it possible. Because, life is what it is. It's not a fairy tale. It's not a storybook. Sometimes it's just black and white.
Yeah. I was just checking your comment on her poem to see if you actually put the story about Bebe and Ben in your comment.
No, that would take too long. No, it's just, I was thinking about that. Because, Benny is a different man now. He's happy. He's 8 years old now. He's happy. He's a regular cat now.
Yeah.
But I loved Bebe a lot. And I couldn't part with Bebe. And I wanted to keep Benny. So it was a constant battle every day of keeping the two apart. And, that rings true to life. That sometimes there are certain people in life that they're best apart. Because no matter how hard you try, it's just gonna fall apart.
Yeah, well, if you go by the rules of nature on that, it was all about showing dominance. Uncle Baby assumed that Ben was the biggest threat to his being the leader of the pack. So that's why he kept letting Ben know that he was stronger.
I guess, but I don't understand why he always focused on Ben.
Well, because Ben was the next strongest
Well,
in his eyes.
technically Ben was.
Yeah. So
He's still pretty strong for 8 years old.
For an old guy.
Yeah. So yeah.
I'm not. I'm getting weaker by the day.
You say you're getting weaker by the day. In some respects, maybe. In other respects, no.
I can't believe you said that.
I can't believe you said that. That's true. Hey, I'm no spring chicken either.
Yeah, you are.
I'm only 7 years younger than you.
It's a good thing I like chicken.
You like chicken? I won't cluck.
Okay.
What's that about?
I don't know. We should get back on prompt.
We are. I thought this was a great right, though. I do appreciate bringing this right to the contest because the way she wrote it, it was also meant to be a kid's story as well.
Yeah.
So I like the morals that she did give because the thing is with kids, too, that's something I've noticed growing up when I was a kid and even with our son when he was, in school, that it's very hard for children to get along because children, they have their own mindsets. And, it kind of seems like at an early age, kids form their own cliques, their own groups. And certain people will always kind of be looked at as different. And then that's where the problem always lies. So, in a perfect world, it'd be nice for, the kids to start to see at an early age that they bring into adulthood that while everybody's different, it's also something that can be embraced as well.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what makes it so great, the uniqueness about everybody. So you shouldn't look at it differently. You should just look at everybody, as your equal.
Yeah.
And not look down on them.
Indeed.
Oh, yeah. That's a cool right.
Yes.
Great moral lesson.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah. That's what Okay. I got You haven't read in a bit.
Okay.
So, I'm going to have you read the next two.
The next two, I'm told.
This is our bronze winner from the contest.
A bronze winner. Bring it on.
Bring it on.
Come on, Balboa.
There it is.
Wanna ring the bell, Apollo?
Ding, ding.
All right, my phone. There we go. So my phone is not opening it. Oh, I think Joseph dropped something in here.
Yeah, I'll test it out. You get reading first.
Hello, Joseph, if you're listening. This is from Hughes Face 3, and it's called Beauty and the Beast. The sunflower bloomed from the heavens corridor, so I inhaled and took a gasp from your moist rays, adrift through cologne silk curtains, as you floodlighted my first sight and smiled bright through the years. You, my never-setting sun. The moonflower blossomed in unblemished moonbeams. Radiance of your crystal beads vivified the night. Your fragrant breath refilled the gaps in my longing lungs. From the fluorescence of your eyes, every night stood astride and alive. The beauty on your breastbones humbled my iron-fisted beast-man-ship, clad me in unconditional love. We rode on a proposed carriage through and through the creaks of our red city walls, performing our karaoke aloud, Take Me to Church. Lauded in praise like God, submitting to my preeminence, you preached my words and ignited my scripts as I was your genius, but I suddenly, your nightmares, over and over and again, using up my lives. It's over for you. It's over for your good. Sorry. I've come to know the truth. I'm a sang-Freud kind of beast. Cold when ought to be hot, and too hot if ought to be cold. Wouldn't someone lock me up, stop me from hurting the most beautiful golden mind. You deserve happiness in its entirety. You're a pot of gold, a goldfish. I wish I was never made this way. I truly want to reign with you, but I'm a captive of an evil spleen. If I could reincarnate or be refurbished, I will love you till all infinities. I'll keep on singing my life to the world. End poem.
What do you think?
I thought this was pretty cool, and I thought it was actually kind of relatable because sometimes I feel like I'm the beast and you're the beauty.
I know, you say that often.
Yes.
But I love beef. So you're my beastly baby.
This can also be interpreted as to the prompt too, because this is a pre-write, as in Clara being the beauty, and maybe the Mouse King is the beast, or perhaps even the Nutcracker is the beast. Because if you look at the one stanza where he's talking about where's it at, iron fists,
Yeah.
and brass bones. So I mean, this could be her falling in love with the Nutcracker and wanting to marry, but not. It's not going to work out because he's a toy and she's a person.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I thought this was pretty cool. What did you think?
Yeah, I have to agree with what you said, because I do feel that the right in itself, it was very passionate as far as emotions expressed, because the words themselves brought strong feelings about what they felt about themselves and also for another. Um, sometimes love, when it's good, it is everything. And love is many different things. And, when it goes bad or when it's taken away or when it leaves, then it creates other emotions. I thought this was a great write all around because, technically a lot of couples could say they have their own beauty and beast element, because I know you've always said as well that you feel you're the beast and I'm the beauty.
Oh.
Or wolf magic.
Yes.
Yeah.
And real quick, I do want to say hello to Joseph out there,
Yes.
my big brother.
Hello, Joseph. Yeah, Joseph called you the bearded beast.
I saw that.
We'll go with that. And he said he did drop a poem on the reading list.
Yeah.
And we should remember it, and I do. And since Joseph is here, we can get to that now.
Okay.
And boom.
Oh, yeah. I remember just from the title.
Yeah.
This was from a contest that we ran together last year.
Last winter.
Right around this time, I think.
No,
maybe a little later, yeah.
Yeah.
And Joseph won the gold with this poem from Joseph Moon called Christmas Day on a Sled.
Yes.
And it goes like this. Brave as a young lion, strong like a young bull, they stormed down the hill in armor of wool, skating, sledding, throwing snowballs, loving it, while myself, still young in spirit, do steadfast sit. The snowman on with his corncob pipe and scarf, thinking of taking on that hill, I barf. What a white Christmas day, the grandkids come, oh, for the fun of them, when I was one of them. I watch from the window with cigar and cognac, snowballs smashing my white Cadillac, as I roast chestnuts with Bing and Nat King Cole. Blonde-haired Henry scores a hockey goal. Down the snowy street, I see Stephen and Kay, two young lovers on a bright red sleigh. They laugh and slid with the boys and girls, so many smiles outshine the lights of pink pearls. I put on galoshes, gloves, and a fur fedora, acting cool, creating my own aura. The kids and lovers laugh, give me a double dare. Chance cannot change my love, nor time impair. Atop an antique sled, I fly through the air, as doubtful thoughts and rash embrace despair. Screaming, yelling, I fall on my wet grass. I awake to see Stephen and Kay toasting a glass. Merry Christmas and salute, they say. End poem.
And salute.
And salute. And happy Christmas season.
Yeah, it is the Christmas season.
Awesome, Joseph. Definitely remember this one. Just to say, just to let everybody know, you did. It wasn't because Joseph put us in his poem that he won gold. It was the it was the imagery that he used and the humor in it that just really made me smile. I thought that this was a great, great poem all around. Thinking of the memories of Christmas, the children. You know, what's Christmas without children, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. God, I miss sled riding.
I know.
I got to do it again, just one more time.
I know. It makes me remember back from when I was a kid, because I used to live in a township called Chardon. The hills of Chardon, as I always told you, were very, very hilly, and the childhood home that I grew up in, it had very big hill in the backyard. And I remember being able to take my wooden sleigh and being able to ride down the hill in the backyard. And that was a pretty cool ride every winter. I didn't have to go to a certain area to do it. So, yeah, this definitely makes me think back to youth. We didn't take James sled riding too much when he was younger because he didn't really like the cold and the snow as much as we did.
No, he didn't. I don't know if it's a new generation thing or what, but I know when I was young and there was snow outside, my parents would have to wrestle me back in the door. I would be soaked to the bone and freezing cold, but I'd still want to stay out there and play. And James, he'd go out in the snow and stay out there for 5 minutes and come back in and say, I'm cold.
I think it's a generation thing because I do remember staying outside for hours, just making snowmen, making snow forts. Those were expensive, making the snow fort, me and my sister, because we were pretty serious about the snow fort we made.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's pretty spacious, pretty big. And then, of course, the sleigh ride. And, yeah, a lot of great memories there. Yeah. And Joseph's opening stanza, he definitely brings that when he talks about the skating and the sledding and throwing snowballs.
Yeah. Yeah, see, I grew up in a place called Fairport Harbor, which is north of Chardon.
Yeah.
And it's right on the lake, Lake Erie. And there's a lighthouse museum on top of a hill right by the lake. And this hill was the sledding hill of the town. And it was almost, the pitch on it, I don't know, the degree of the pitch on this hill was just, it looked like it was almost straight down. So there was a lot of speed picked up. Luckily, there was a huge field at the bottom. They gave you plenty of time to stop before you got to the tree line, but it was a very fast hill and a lot of fun. But a real pain trying to get back up to the top so we can go down again.
Well, didn't they around that area have an ice skating rink too for the kids?
Yeah, they did. Just off to the left, actually, it was the boat docks.
Yeah.
Was what the ice skating rink was when the lake got froze, when it was frozen thick enough, when the ice was thick enough, we would open up ice skating right there. It was basically at the bottom of that hill too,
yeah.
But to the left and to the north.
You kind of make it sound foreboding when you say to the left and to the north.
I was terrible at ice skating. I tried, I just could not do it.
I was great. I was great at skating and ice skating because growing up we were poor, so a lot of our Christmases they were provided by St. Vincent de Paul in Chardon. And I remember the one year because they had this thing where the church itself and a bunch of the parishioners, they donated money and presents to the children in need. And that covered a wide range of things, from winter clothing to toys, where I remember when I was a kid giving a wish list to the priest who worked for St. Vincent de Paul. And they tried their best to accommodate the wish list, but I remember every year still being happy because while I didn't get everything I asked for, they tried to at least get one key thing that was the most important to you. And that one winter ice skates were important. And I got them for Christmas, and I used them.
Yeah.
So, yeah, sometimes places like that, if it wasn't for places like that, I wouldn't have had a Christmas.
Yeah.
Because every Christmas there was something special that I had gotten that meant something to me. But, yeah, the ice skate.
I had a set of ice skates. I just didn't use them because After 2 or 3 tries, I said, the hell with this.
It's not easy.
My ass is bruised enough. I was great on roller skates, but I sucked on ice skates.
I was great. Oh my God, I missed the roller rink days. I flew on the floor.
Me and my friends still played ice hockey on a thing that we called the soup pond, which was south of Fairport.
Yeah.
But we didn't wear ice skates. We just slid around in our sneakers.
Yeah. Yeah. It's probably not the safest.
Joseph liked your story.
Oh, thank you, Joseph. Yeah. Yeah. It's nice to know that there's still places like that exist, because if it wasn't for them, I wouldn't have had a Christmas.
Yeah.
And they made sure that the children in need, they had Christmases back then, because they even provided meals too. So, yeah.
Well, I know. Place. I mean, there's a St. Vincent de Paul in a lot of places, because there's one in Paynesville too. And if you remember when we first started out, and we were even poorer than we are now, they gave us our mattresses and box springs for our bed.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, this is true.
So they're still out there helping.
They are, yeah.
Kay is the ballerina on skates.
I don't know.
That's what Joseph said.
I miss my skating days. I do.
I'd love to go roller skating again.
Yeah, it was fun.
It was.
You know, it just gives you this sense of being free, like you're flying on the floor, you're flying on the ice. You know, you're in your own little world, and you're just flying. You're having fun.
I used to do the races that they'd have at the roller rinks on roller skates.
Yeah.
I was very, very fast on roller skates.
Oh, me too.
Oh man, I looked like I can't think of his name now. The speed skater for the Winter Olympics. I looked like him going around the corner. You know, where you got your arm going. I used to mimic that motion, and it worked.
Yeah.
Yeah, they do that for a reason. It keeps the balance and lets you maintain the speed.
It does. This is an excellent right, Joseph. As you see, you're getting us reflecting back on you. And I know that's what the purpose of the right was as well, because you're also talking about being young in spirit, because I always say that if you can embrace the inner child, it will help to keep you young at heart, no matter how old you are. This is a wonderful right.
Yes, indeed.
It's a very beautiful right. It helps to make one reflect very easily.
Yeah.
Because even I had my good memories too. So yeah.
Yeah.
That's a wonderful right, Joseph. Well, I don't know. Joseph says you're never too old. I'll start with a slow walk. I don't know.
Well, we used to do winter walks. We'll have to do one again this year.
I know. Well, when we used to, we had an excuse because we had our dog Strider, and he loved walking in the snow.
He did. He hated rain, but he loved frozen rain.
I know, it didn't make sense because he would lunge into the snow as well and just get all covered where he was snow covered, and he didn't care.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you had him stand in the rain, he'd give you the sorriest, mopest look. He'd be like, I can't believe you're doing this to me.
Yep.
But put him in snow, he's like, I love it.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Dog logic.
I know, because snow and rain, they're the same thing. They're just different elements.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Where do you want to go next?
Well, if you want, I can read mine.
Okay.
I originally didn't think I had anything, but then on Friday, I just sat here and I just started writing, and it just came to me pretty quickly. So let me drop that down. I don't think our kitten Worf would appreciate it.
Yeah.
He's becoming his own little bum. Since he got fixed, all he does is sleep. He's already gained a lot of weight. He's got this little pudge belly to him.
He spends a lot of time on my lap, sleeping.
Yeah. He's always happy when you get home.
Yeah.
And sometimes he's persistent. If you're not paying attention, he'll tell you, Dad, I'm right here. So, yeah. Okay, and this is, I had wrote to the first picture where the Mouse King and the Nutcracker are fighting. because this one stood out for me the most. And I call this Winter's Passing Tale. The devouring winds howl and echoes like screaming souls of ageless and timeless days, isolated glimpses from visions seen, through shedding of old, welcoming the new, drive the memory bank of nostalgia upon ashen life. As the sun sinks below with each passing season, beauty fades as the moon hides behind the light. Fresh beauty to behold, Dame Nature weeps of yesterday's sorrows and personified woe. The casual, gentle winds, crescent leaves fallen into submission of order. Echo and voice of seasonal tides becoming the sound of disconnection and stillness. Erratic rhythm of silence, guide me in your grace. I need you present, realizing I am strong. Sometimes the strong need reassurance. Choosing every step along the way, believing in fate and destiny, become an instrumental interlude of tranquility dance to, as clumsy feet shuffle and silent haunches of fortitude's renewal. End poem. I hope that made sense.
I liked it. There, that's my comment.
I'm serious.
I know, I'm just kidding. I thought this was wonderful. There's a lot of truth in this, but the part that really caught me is when you write about how even the strong need reassurance. And I know it, we all have our strengths, but at one point or another, we all need someone to tell us that things are going to be okay. And we need that reassurance. But yeah, this made sense to me. I mean, I can see us in this too, here and there.
Oh, yeah? How so?
Well, talking about needing the reassurance, needing your presence, realizing you're strong. I could say that to you, and I think you could say that to me.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is beautiful. Very, very beautiful.
Thank you. It's very true. I tell you, I am a very stubborn woman.
I know.
But I also am a strong woman too.
I know that too.
And I've been through a lot where I've gotten to the point where it takes a lot to break me anymore. A lot of times I can just take things in stride and say, and just keep moving forward. But sometimes, I do have those moments, because the thing is, we're talking earlier about being empty nesters. I have those rare moments when I am alone, and all of a sudden this house looks very big, and it's very empty, and it's very quiet, and you realize, how alone at that moment you are. So, it's also in those moments that you better like your company, or else you're going to struggle as well. Because, sometimes the quiet, it can be a bad thing too. I like the quiet, but that's also why I try to keep busy, because I don't like to trail off too far, because if it's too quiet, it's very easy to trail off, especially, when you have those moments where you realize just how empty the house is and how quiet it is. And sometimes, as I told you, needing somebody, wanting somebody to be there. But sometimes when you're alone, sometimes also the mood just strikes where you really wish you had somebody there. You really wish you had somebody holding you. You really wish you had somebody to talk to. So that's where that came from, because, sometimes in those moments you just don't want to be alone.
Yeah.
But together, you and I, we definitely have gone through a lot, and we've learned how to be strong individually and together. And that's a good thing, because if you can do that, then you come out a stronger person. But also, with my right to, I was trying to touch on, trying to let go of the old and welcome the new and embrace the inner child. Because that was something I struggled to do for a long time. And the funny thing is, at my age, it probably sounds funny to say that I only started living 4 years ago. I kind of was in my own sleeper stance in many ways. And that's a crummy thing to say, because our son James was still living here. So I do have those moments of regret where I feel like I failed him, because I was so lost in my grief over our youngest son. But, to this day, even in the quiet moments, I carry that regret too, where I wish I could have been better in the respect of being there, because I did close off the world. I closed off everybody. And the fact that I've learned how to relive 4 years ago, in small ways, it's been good because I've been pushing myself in ways. And when I say push, I mean I'm pushing myself in certain environments by putting myself in certain environments that I know is out of my comfort zone, but I'm just doing it to show myself that no matter where I stand, I can do this. I can stand, even if I have to stand alone, I can do this. Because I've had to stand alone a lot in my life. And if you learn how to stand alone, then that shows how strong you are as well. Because it means that, come what may, you're going to be okay.
Yeah.
Even if you have to stand alone. But hopefully you have somebody by your side.
Yeah, Joseph just said on the board there's a difference between solitude and inner loneliness.
That's very true because solitude, I like the solitude. And those rare moments of loneliness, oh man, those are the moments that hurt.
Yeah.
Because sometimes your work schedule is all over the place, and
I
it's
know.
just me keeping company with the cats, and the cats aren't going to talk back to me. They sleep, if anything, so it's just me and the TV.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's why I'm on Old Poetry a lot, because that's become my life now, actually.
Yeah, it's become ours.
I know it has. That's
If I
another
didn't have to
thing.
work, I'd be on it all the time, too.
I know. But see, being here is actually a big thing, too.
Yeah.
The fact of being here, sharing with others, doing the radio shows, that's a big deal, too, because that takes a certain comfort level of dues. If I dance before we do some of these shows, I still have my nerves play up, or I have to give myself a private pep talk to just calm down. So, yeah, it's a big deal. But, yeah.
Doesn't feel.
I know, because I hide my feelings well. But yeah, Joseph on the board said solitude is a good practice. And then I agree. But loneliness is a sad solitude.
Yeah.
And that is true as well. I like the solitude because sometimes it's hard being around people. But sometimes the solitude is what you need as well.
Yeah. And guess what?
I don't know.
I hear it's snowing outside, so.
It's snowing off and on the last few days.
Anybody wants to do a snowball fight, come on over. So I'm talking about snowball fights in the room in there.
Yeah, I know. The thing is, it's just been sitting snow where it has not been sticking.
Yeah, but we're supposed to get accumulations tonight.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. If we used to live in the snow belt, because Chardon was a snow belt,
Mm-hmm.
then yeah, we would be hammered right now.
Yeah, well, James kind of lives in the snow belt.
He does. He's on the outskirts of it, so he does get hammered too.
Yeah.
And that's kind of because he lives like on country roads, which means the snowplows don't really take care of it. So sometimes it's hard to get to his place because, it's country roads and they're poorly lit. They're not really taken care of. And then the place he lives in too, the driveway is a nightmare in itself.
Yeah.
So yeah, winter is not always that easy.
No.
But yeah.
So, how many more poems do we have? One more.
One more.
Wow.
Yeah, and then you can explain about the upcoming chosen contest.
Okay.
And Joseph says that right now it is flurrying there in southeast Pennsylvania.
Nice. The flurries are pretty.
They are. It was kind of flurries earlier when we were at the laundromat. It was nice to see that. But it only lasted for a few minutes.
Yeah.
And then it went away and turned to rain. Which sucks. I would have rather seen the snow. Because a few weeks ago when we were stranded at our house because of the car breaking down, that was a snowy week.
Yeah.
We had like 4 inches on the ground.
That was nice because we were stuck in the house.
We were.
Staying on the couch, basically, under the comforter, watching movies, having our dinner delivered to us. It was nice.
It was nice.
So I said, one of these days we're going to have a day off and we're going to pretend that the car's in the shop.
We'll see how long that lasts. We had to make it work because everybody knew we didn't have a car.
Yeah.
But our son, he works third shift, so I'm constantly on the phone with him like at 2 a.m. in the morning. Because there's always something, so you just never know.
Yeah. Joseph said it was a great night. Actually, it was 3 great nights, Joseph. The car was in the shop for 3 days.
Yeah, I know. Your car broke down on a Friday.
Yeah, and the garage couldn't get to it till
We didn't
they
pick it up
started.
till
Yeah, they
Tuesday.
started on a Monday, and didn't get it fixed till Tuesday evening.
Yeah.
So I had the car Friday to work, and then they took it in Friday evening, and it's Saturday, Sunday, Monday, got it back. So it was actually 4 days.
Yeah.
It was working that way.
It was nice, actually. It was.
It was very nice.
It was romantic. It was nice. It was comfortable. We were bummed. It was nice.
Yeah, it was nice. It was nice. It was unusual.
It was unusual. Yeah, but I don't know how many people know about the show Kath and Kim.
Well, poetic listens, I know.
Yeah. An Australian show on Netflix.
All right, drop that last poem. Who's reading it?
You can.
I will read it. Unhook the battery cable and enjoy. Yes, indeed.
Our battery is wonky as it is.
All right. This is from Indranus.
Yeah.
I believe that's how you pronounce her name. And it's called A Wise Nutcracker. The Nutcracker did put a spell on them, the young songbird as well as the child. His hands break nuts over their heads, letting them to strike others and go wild. It was a tug of war for me to free up one. Perhaps he always loved me and kind. The other one still holding the grudges. He likes the Nutcracker more in his mind. The beard of the toy has tied his hands. I need scissors to chop off the tangled hair. The young lad wanders like a lonely cat. Wish he is back soon, being free and fair. End poem. Now, I thought this was a pretty cool little brevity. I thought it was a dark take of a Nutcracker, kind of switching it around and making the Nutcracker being the bad guy rather than the good guy. I really like the dark imagery, and it really made me think of somebody who would, like, pull the wool over your eyes, saying they're a friend, but really they're not. I thought this was an excellent write. What did you think?
Well, yeah. I mean, each stanza.
I actually might go as far as say that I think it's one of the best I've read from her, actually.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Mm.
I really like it.
Wow. Well, yeah. Each stanza definitely tells its own little story because the first stanza, was how you envision the Nutcracker. That's what I saw, too. That Nutcracker put a spell on them and then letting them go wild and striking others. I see that as kind of an unruly child in that first stanza.
Yeah.
Kind of in the Nutcracker, her little brother, wasn't he unruly?
Yes, he was. He is the one that broke the Nutcracker.
Yeah, he did. So there's, that little play there. But then the second stanza, talking about a tug of war for me to free up one. And then saying, perhaps he always loved me and kind. And then the other one's still holding grudges. And he likes the Nutcracker more in his mind. And that, for me, says that there's opposing views on that side, where the one is holding grudges, but the other wants to get along, and it's a tug of war because you don't know how to move forward. And one is holding on to anger, and the other isn't.
Yeah.
Because that plays back into the mindset of the child as well, the defiant child. But I like the closing stanza. The beard of the toy has tied his hands. And, all around, it does speak, it speaks to society, to life itself, because, it has its own dark twist to it. But I can easily see it being a story of life, too. With the defiance spoken of, and wishing that things could be different, and, wishing for that one to be back who's free and fair and, let go of grudges. And, yeah. It makes me think a lot of her brother from Nutcracker.
Yeah.
Because he was very unruly.
He was a little bastard.
Yeah, I guess you could say that.
He was a brat.
We all are brats at times.
At times, yes.
And sometimes even into adulthood, except some people don't want to admit that.
Yeah. Yeah, and just to let Joseph know that what I just said on the room
What's that?
It's supposed to sound like thank you very much.
Like Elvis. He did very well. It was an excellent write, yes. She was actually the first HM. Yeah, I thought this was a cool write as well.
Yeah.
But the first 3 writes, they embodied the Nutcracker more so as to what I was looking for. So this definitely was a great extension.
Yeah. Indeed.
Indeed. And yeah, and of course, with S. Blake Horton truly embodying the story itself and Tchaikovsky. So yeah, I thought that was a great extension to the contest. Everybody, all the contest rights, they were wonderful with their own unique visions of how they saw the Nutcracker and the pictures, and even with the moral lessons too.
Yeah. And you know what I didn't do? I forgot to mention that the story was written by E.T.A. Hoffman.
Better late than never.
Yep, got it in there.
You got it in there now. Well, yeah, it was a great story. I think I read that Alexander Dumas, he rewrote it in the gentler version.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Yeah, because as we discussed earlier, it was very dark. And I don't know what to say the word.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, because the story said that it had undertones of pedophile.
Oh.
Yeah. And then, like I said, with the rat mother ordering her children to be murdered. I was afraid the first word I couldn't say.
Who was the pedophile?
I don't know. I think they were. And the
Couldn't have been
story,
Uncle Drosselmeyer.
I think they were trying to center at Uncle Drosselmeyer or being like that.
Hey.
Yeah.
Yikes. Yeah, that is a bit darker.
It was a lot different. It really was.
Excuse me. Did you want to give acknowledgments?
Oh, well.
And then I'll go into upcoming shows.
Yeah. I'm typing.
Yeah, so am I. Saying goodnight to my big brother.
Yeah, because Joseph had to check out.
Good night, Joseph. Couple glasses of wine there.
Couple glasses of wine.
And we're good.
Yeah.
It's almost Christmas Eve when I get my bottle of wine, my yearly bottle of wine.
Well, yeah.
You know what they say about that? Bottle of wine, fruit of the vine.
Your annual Christmas Eve tradition. This year, though, it's going to be a first because usually every Christmas Eve, you and James, you watch Alistair Sim's Christmas Carol.
Yeah. It's not a first. I used to do it alone before he was too
But he was
old.
still here.
Yeah, but he didn't watch it with me. He was in bed.
I know, but as he got older, then he enjoyed it, and he started watching it with you, where you guys would eat the meat and cheese tray, and you'd have your wine. And then last year, James partaked in the wine.
Yeah, because he was old enough.
Yes, he's old enough.
Actually, he partaked of it the year before that, too, but we just didn't tell nobody.
Yeah, I know. He was 20 at that time. Partook, yeah. Although what was crummy was, that was also a Christmas that he drank too much.
Yeah.
Went to your mother's with a hangover. And I wanted to slap him silly for that one. Yeah. He partaked too much.
Yeah.
Too much.
Yes, indeed. All right. Let's do some acknowledgments, and then I'll talk about upcoming shows.
Okay, yeah. I just wanted to say thank you to Wayne for calling in. And, of course, Joseph, who's on the board, and Dan, who's on the board, and Jeff Graham was there earlier.
Crystal was there for a little bit. Yeah,
and Crystal. And then, of course, from our contest, I want to say thank you to everybody who entered. S. Blake Horton, Jeff Graham, Hughes, Back 3, Adronis, Crystal Lavoie.
Yes.
And Marvin Goldfarb. And, of course, you and I shared a right, and Joseph shared a right as well. Oh, wonderful. So, yeah, thank you for participating in tonight's show and making it possible.
All right. And upcoming shows. Tomorrow is the Movement of Sound, where we're going to feature songs from Sting and the Police, which, of course, Sting was in. And people wrote 2 songs by both the Police and Sting, and we're going to read those poems and listen to some of the songs.
Yeah.
It's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah, I was downloading a lot of those songs on our studio before this show, so I'm ready for tomorrow.
And then Saturday is, what do we call it? I'm drawing a blank. A night of laughter through the arts. And we are going to focus on 2 classic Christmas movies. The Holiday Inn with Bing Crosby and Fred Astaire, and White Christmas with Bing Crosby and Danny Kaye.
Yeah.
And Rosemary Clooney.
Yeah.
And Vera Ellen.
I loved Rosemary Clooney and White Christmas. I thought she was absolutely gorgeous.
Yeah, I thought Vera Ellen was gorgeous, and she was old enough to be my great-grandmother.
Well, see, that's the funny thing. I've always said to you that's funny because you've always liked girls who have the tomboy look to them. More simple. But Vera Ellen was more high maintenance.
Yeah.
She was gorgeous, yeah, but I saw her as very high maintenance. But Rosemary Clooney, she was more my speed, you know. She was a natural beauty, and she had grace and elegance, and she carried herself with poise, and she just was amazing.
Maybe it's the fact that Vera Ellen bared more of her skin in the movie than Rosemary Clooney did.
Rosemary Clooney did, and that one scene where she's saying, "Love, you didn't do right by me." That beautiful black dress that she's wearing that shows cleavage. She looks absolutely gorgeous in that scene.
Yeah, but Vera Ellen in just a leotard.
Yeah, I know. Her skirts were very short, a lot of thigh, a lot of leg. And she had great legs, too, so I'll give you that. You forgot to mention that Friday is our makeup show.
That's right. We do have to make up yesterday's show. Yesterday's show was a bust due to technical difficulties. So we are making it up Friday at 7 p.m., The Mortuary of Shadows, Part 2 of The Many Faces of the Joker. Hope you all can join us for that one as well on a special night.
Yeah. Usually Friday is not a show night for us, but this is Part 2 of the Joker, and we want to make it up because we have our shows mapped out for the rest of the month, and we would like to stick to that schedule.
Yeah, because like I was saying last night to Jay Hatter, if you got a Christmas show planned, it sucks if you have to bump it to after New Year's because then it just wouldn't work.
No. Then people will be like, why the hell are you buying our Christmas? It's over.
Yeah. Got to do them before Christmas.
Exactly.
And so next Tuesday.
Oh, yeah. I know you're looking forward to that.
And the newest Mortuary of Shadows. I don't know if I'll pronounce all the names right, but we're going with Dark Christmas Legends. And I found some doozies.
Oh, you did. I never even heard of them before. I was surprised at what you found.
Yeah, I don't know if I'll pronounce them right. Everybody knows about Krampus. That's why we kind of excluded him because Krampus has been kind of done to death.
Yeah.
But there is the Yule Cat, and there's no way I'm going to be able to pronounce its name. Yolakoturin or something like that. This cat knows if you've been bad or good, because if you were bad, you didn't get new clothes for Christmas. So if this cat sees you walking around with raggedy clothes, the damn thing will eat you.
The story behind that, as I said, I think that was just a ploy to get people to work harder because they said, the farmers who grew cotton?
Yeah, to get to pick the cotton so they can make the clothes too.
Yeah, so everybody had to have new clothes by Christmas.
Yeah.
And if not, that picture that I'm looking at, that cat is bigger than a human.
Oh yeah, or else he wouldn't be able to eat you.
Yeah, it's like very intimidating and fierce. It's like some of these legends that they created, it would scare the hell out of anybody, I think.
Yeah, and that was Iceland, I believe. Yeah. Yes, Iceland had that one. Frau Perkta, I think is how it's pronounced, is in Germany and Austria. She hands out rewards and punishments. If you're good, she gives you treats. If you're bad, she rips out your internal organs and replaces them with garbage. How about that?
I know. We have had a lot of conversation about Frau Perkta because you seem to be interested in writing about her.
Yeah, I'm going to write about her.
Yeah. Was she also the one, that video that I was seeing where it looked like whack-a-mole?
No. He's coming up.
Yeah. But that's a sadistic taxidermist.
Yeah. The next one is Belsnickel, and some people have heard about Belsnickel, especially if you watch The Office, because there was a Christmas episode where Dwight dressed up as Belsnickel. He is very tame. He's actually I'd say he's tamer than Krampus, actually. He's not that dark.
He's the nicer of them all.
Yeah, he just gives you a spanking if you were bad and gives you treats if you were good. So if you enjoyed being spanked, then it was a treat either way. All right, next, Hans Trapp, France. He was from. This guy, in life he was a rich man. He was greedy and worshipped Satan. He was excommunicated from the church and exiled to the forest where he preyed upon children. He disguised as a scarecrow with straw jutting out of his clothing. He was about to eat one boy that he captured when God smote him with lightning. But now he still, in death, still does this, dressed as a scarecrow to scare them into good behavior. And if you're bad, you will wake up either Christmas Eve morning or Christmas morning, and there'll be a bundle of twigs at the bottom of your bed instead of presents. And if those twigs are there, that means Hans is going to come back, take you away, and eat you. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas. There's kindling by your bedside. We're going to smoke you.
This is the guy that you saw the video about.
Oh, my God.
Pierre Fautard, I think it's pronounced. It's also French, which the name translates to Father Whipper. In life, he was an evil butcher who craved children to eat. He and his wife would lure the kids to the butcher shop where they would kill and eat them. The legend says he lured 3 boys in, killed them, chopped them up, and salted them. St. Nicholas came to the rescue, resurrected the boys, and took custody of the butcher. Now it's his job to dispense punishment to bad children on Christmas. But the one video we saw was they were acting like it was happy.
I know.
Where the guy was pushing these kids' head down into this table, and on the other side of the table you see a grinder where this freaking ground meat's pouring out, like he's grinding the kids up, and they're laughing.
I know. The thing is, at first, it looked like whack-a-mole, the way he was gently pushing their heads down. And then all of a sudden they shoot over to the next side screen. And I was like, what the hell's going on?
Yeah.
And they're just singing their song, making it sound all happy and jovial. Don't mind the fact that there's kids getting ground down behind you.
Yeah.
It's fun.
Yes. Now let's get back to Iceland, where they were very, very sick when it comes to Christmas legends. The Yule lads, are the next. 13 Icelandic trolls, each having a distinct name and personality. I don't have them all in front of me right now, but it's easy to find them online. They enjoyed stealing things and causing trouble around Christmas time. So they weren't cannibals and all that stuff like the others, but their mother, Grilla, I don't know how to pronounce her name. She loves to eat kids. And so the Yule lads, when they see bad kids, they go home and tell their mother, and then their mother goes, grabs a kid, and boils them up and eats them. Merry Christmas again. So yeah, basically in the olden times they used to scare their kids into being good.
Yeah.
By saying, if you don't be good, Grilla's going to eat you.
A lot of these legends, these folklores, it's terrible. It's like you're scaring your children by thinking they're going to be murdered.
Yeah. Yeah, good God. If I'm not good, I'm going to die. Could you imagine? Could you imagine if the kid just screwed up a little bit right around Christmas time? He'd be like, he wouldn't be able to sleep.
I know. He'd be scared crapless that somebody's going to come and get you.
Yeah, this one's going to be a fun one. I'm going to write to I think more than just one of them, too. I'm going to enjoy this one a lot.
I know you're very excited about it. We've been talking a lot about Frapurka.
Yeah.
I know.
And I'm going to write to Hans Trapp, and I might write to Grilla, too.
I don't know who I'm going to write to. Oh, my gosh. There's so much there to choose from.
Oh, it's going to be fun.
I know you're looking forward to it. And we do have a contest up for that right now.
Yes,
an
there is.
only contest. So check that out for anybody who's listening because, this is the part of Christmas, but the dark side of Christmas.
Yes.
Which is fit in for the mortuary of shadows.
Bring me your darkness.
Bring me your darkness.
I feed upon your darkness. Next Wednesday, What are we doing next Wednesday? We are doing J.K. Rowling's, right?
Yeah,
Yes.
Harry Potter.
Harry Potter. So, because Harry Potter seems to be synonymous with the Christmas season, so that's what we are going to focus on next Wednesday. We'll have that up soon.
Yeah.
And then I'm not sure next Thursday, on Movement of Sound, we are going to focus on music in the old Rankin Bass specials.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so like Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer and Santa Claus is Coming to Town, but those songs will not be included. We're talking about original songs written for those specials themselves. Like in Rudolph, there was Silver and Gold, or the Island of Misfit Toys, that kind of thing.
Yeah, and we are going to be working on getting those contests up tonight.
Tonight, yes. Tonight and maybe tomorrow.
Yeah, because we do have contests we want to get started for that. And then next Saturday.
Next Saturday is Synergy of Love, the once-a-month show. And we are going to do Romance Under the Mistletoe.
Yeah. And you can be cheeky with the rights if you want to. Just don't go too far.
Right, yeah, the show will be rated R.
Yeah, it will be. Because there's many different aspects of romance under the mistletoe.
Yes.
Because we definitely have mistletoe.
Especially like me, I have mistletoe on the head of the bed.
No, you don't anymore. We did in the past. In the past, we did actually. We did.
I know.
So that made
for
interesting.
In the kitchen, it's not as fun.
No, it's not, because the entryway is too small. It is. But yeah. And that is the roundup of our shows this week and next week.
Yes.
So we still have the contest going for our show this Saturday for White Christmas Holiday Inn. Yep. And the contest is, that's the only contest open, isn't it?
Well,
the one for Tuesday's show. Yeah. About those Christmas those legends.
Yes.
And then tonight we're going to be working on a few other contests for next week's shows. Because we like to do contests for the shows, give other people a chance as well to participate.
Yes, indeedo.
Yeah.
All right.
And so with that, do you want to close out?
Let's close it out. We will close out with the song The Nutcracker Prince from The Nutcracker.
Yeah, it's from the cartoon that I was talking about earlier.
Oh, it was in the ballet too.
Oh, okay, yeah. Because they played this a lot in that cartoon. Yeah. Sorry. So yeah, the cartoon version, I think it was 1990. The girl who played Anne from Anne of Green Gables, she played Clara. Kiefer Sutherland, he was the Nutcracker. They'll always be my favorite version. So yeah, I guess I am ready to play the closer.
Yep.
Okay, then I'm going to hit it. closes out. Thank you, Dan, for sharing the video on the board, which means that you were listening to me prattle on, and Stephen as well. Thank you. That was very sweet of you. That really made me smile. I appreciate that so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Without further ado, I will say good night, everybody.
Good night, everybody. And we'll see everybody tomorrow night.
Yeah. Have a good night.
Good night. Wait, we got 13, 12, 11, 10, 9. Oh, it's done.